evening and welcome to United Soccer FC. My name is Harry. Gonna do something a little bit different this year here. I think I'm gonna do number one. Todd and I are going to talk about my soccer journey and how I think I'm becoming a Newcastle United fan. Am I? I'm getting sucked into what I call the Newcastle experience for that here. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a little bit of the future of what I see my channel to go forward with. And that's going to be, I think I'm going to do a little bit more rankings. Obviously I'm on social media, at Ram Call, I not shy, so I'm going to put them out on videos and have that go as well. But just a little bit about me and how I got into soccer. It's been probably 12 years, 13 years, 14 years. Obviously, I'm in the United States. Played football, American football, and wrestled in high school, did the military, huge, big three sports, four with hockey. Wasn't really around the game of soccer. Came to San Antonio around that time. It was the World Cup, and one of the supporter groups was throwing watch parties there. I got kind of hooked into it from there, just, the excitement. And then they were announcing that the San Antonio Scorpions that was going to play in the NASL. So I became a season ticket member, fell in love with it. My kids fell in love. We had kids and they fell in love with it. And even to this day, as you can tell by the back, I'm a San Antonio FC fan. They're a second division club in USL. In my opinion, they got screwed out of going to MLS. By Austin FC. Nothing against Austin FC fans because I think they're great and through there, but Precourt sucks. And I like the leagues. I like the clubs of MLS, but I hate the league. But then I started listening to a podcast across the pitch out of Phoenix. Started talking with Phil and got into Accrinton Stanley. They are a club that's lower league. At the time, they were in League 2, and they got promoted up to League 1. I got into the excited and started listening to every episode from them and how they talked about the club and the team. Been on their show a few times talking about Accrinton Stanley. Got the iFollow subscription. Obviously stateside here, that's the only way to watch League 1 on a consistent basis for that here. I love their owner. I wish their owner was the San Antonio FC owner just because how transparent he is, Mr. Andy Holt. I know he's taking a timeout on Twitter right now after some lines that I think he crossed here. But he's very transparent. He does things the right way, and he fights for a better system, which is part of the reason why I'm kind of confused a little bit of how I can start to like Newcastle. Mr. Holt has been fighting with, the EFL on trying to make the game more open to all and not just the clubs with the money. And to be fair, Accrington Stanley is one of the smallest clubs in League 1. At this point, their budget's not as good. The facilities, aren't top notch. Wham Stadium, is on the smaller side here, but they run a pretty solid club. They're mid-table at this point. Last year they inched up towards the playoffs and then kind of fell back with injuries and just with COVID and they had cramped schedule. This year, they're still mid-table. Had an issue with one of their strikers who ended up getting moved out. I personally thought they should have moved him out. During the summer window, they didn't. Unfortunately, paid the price, and he's now gone. They're still a little bit short on strikers, still a little bit short here, but we'll see what happens. I know they still have the ability to bring in some loans. However, I'm not going to lie to you, Newcastle United, I'm getting sucked in. It's all I can say is it's an experience. Because they're battling to stay up in the Premier League, and I never thought I would have a Premier League club. It wasn't something that really interested me. I've always been a kind of lower league guy here. I've never been a fan of an MLS team or first division team, but I think what kind of gets me excited is, I've watched the kickoff show, which one of the founders is a Newcastle fan, but just that's how I kind of got more involved in the Premier League, was watching that show and just, enjoy the banter. And that show you can find on Twitch, and they'll put, highlights on YouTube. But I think what's really encouraged, me learning about Newcastle is, and this is probably a Premier League thing, is you can pick team and there's, hundreds of different shows, but Adam Pearson's channel, on YouTube, the Toon Review, which, I really enjoy, Braz's World of Sports TV, have been great fodder. Obviously I'm 6 hours behind, what's going on in England. So it's been interesting, just, how much access that they have, even compared to us, stateside here. But to me, it's an interesting dilemma. So with the San Antonio FC, it's a closed system. Spurs Sports and Entertainment, which owns San Antonio FC, isn't very transparent. It's not. And part of it's the makeup of the league, part of it's makeup of the Spurs, part of it's just, how things happen here in the States. On the flip side, Accrington Stanley is mostly known for a commercial for many, many, many years ago, probably decades ago. And to me, you're going to have polar opposites. You got, a small budget club, and then you got, Newcastle United that has the most money in the world at this point, really unlimited. And, I don't think they really flexed their muscles at the winter transfer deadline here. And part of it's because they didn't know if they were staying up or going down, which makes it a little bit more challenging, but they have. But so the question that I have is, how do you support two different clubs over in England that are polar opposites? Is that something that you can do? It's just an interesting dilemma that I have found myself in, just because I love the way Accrinton Stanley does it, but to be able to hop on, and it's hopping on the train. There's no excuse about it. It's hopping on the bandwagon of Newcastle United. It's like Manchester City with their fan base. I talked to a Man City supporter, and he says that the fan base is most likely doubled at least since they got their sugar daddy for that here. And part of it comes with the winning. Let's be honest with you. But to me, I'm more interested in the drama of, can they stay up? And like I said here, to the point where, I watch, several different, shows and different ideas, of the creators, from Newcastle United. So, but just to kind of give you a quick show, I mentioned that I'm going to try to do a little bit more consistent on these, especially as we get closer to the season. About it. And like I said, hopefully in the future, we'll be able to bring on different folks and guests and stuff like that. But to me, like I said here, I just want to the ability to create content, to be able to create stuff, to be able to express yourself, is unique, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing the direction that this can kind of go forward with. Of course, I still do the San Antonio Soccer Roundtable, which is mainly focused on soccer here in San Antonio, from high schools to the lower league clubs, both men and women, to San Antonio FC. For that here, and I think with this channel, I think it's going to become a little bit more broader, a little bit more hot take-ish, I guess you could kind of say, with power rankings, and I'm sure, especially when it comes to MLS, I'll be missing. I think with USL Championship, I have probably a little bit better idea, but NISA and League One, a little bit easier to follow, not as many teams. But I think that's the kind of the direction that we're kind of going to, is going to be quick videos that kind of talk about that. If you have any suggestions, any ideas, let us know. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening.